Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 3. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode where hopefully we should be getting the youth intake coming through at some point. We are in March, it's meant to come through in March, so we'll just keep going until it comes through, I suppose. Before we go into the results of what happened last time you were here, first things first, can you drop a like on the video for me? We'd massively appreciate that, and of course subscribe to the channel if you are new around here as we try and push to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's going to be close, judging on how many people we get every day subscribing, so every subscription helps. Everyone pressing that sub button and the bell button, massively appreciate it. Before we go through fixtures, I want to talk through a few things that have happened since you guys were last here, starting off with the youth intake preview. At some point today we'll get this youth intake. Apparently it was a healthy number of new fullbacks. At least one fullback has plenty of promise. We've got some good strikers, some good young players from Gibraltar, good young striker. As you can see, it's an excellent group of players. Not quite a golden generation, but an excellent group of players coming through. So obviously that is great to see. Not long after that, I was offered a new contract by the club, which of course I accepted, negotiated to 2 years on a slightly lower wage as well. So I'm not costing the club quite so much money, but I've got a longer contract, which is very nice for me as the manager. Obviously, we are still kind of being scrutinised quite a lot in this, so I need to make sure we keep getting results to make sure I stay in the job. As we went into January, obviously there were bids for our goalkeeper Anthony Ward. Not very big bids, but bids nonetheless. Obviously, these were rejected. However, and it pains me to say this, they did go away. The bids went away, but for the sort of wrong reasons. The wrong reason was he tore his knee ligaments and is out for 3 months. He's still out right now, unfortunately. So Chino's been in goal for us ever since Anthony Ward picked up his injury, which obviously wasn't ideal. And then more recently, right at the start of March, Kike has picked up a sports hernia, could be out for 6 weeks, which might mean he's out for the rest of the season. So actually, Raul and Oninho Jr. could become the new dynamic strike partnership for the rest of the season. Both of them have been proving themselves as well. If we go through the fixtures since you guys were last here, and I must say we've played an awful lot of them. We said we'd go through to January, or to March, sorry, for the youth intake, but actually that might have been a few too many games to do in between episodes because there's an awful lot to remind you of since our win to Racing Murcia and the 3-1 loss to Atletico Salaqueño last time out. We've played all of these games, as you can see. I won't try and go through everything in depth because that'll take up far too much time, but to round off November we had a 0-0 draw with Jaén, but we did go into December winning every single game. As you can see, the highlights of that was a 5-1 win against Linares in the league with Martel Taylor-Crosdale scoring finally his first goal for the club in that game. Raul Jr. scored 2 goals in that Copa del Rey first round win against Jaén as well, but unfortunately we did lose the second round of the Copa del Rey to La Liga side Eibar. However, I think they were playing quite a strong lineup. Following that, we had a 1-0 loss to AD Merida, who I think are top of the table at the moment, so they're a very, very good side. When we played them, Almeria B, as you can see here, Almeria B were top of the table. We beat them 4-3, but I must say we got very lucky. Almeria had 3 shots on target in that game and scored all 3 of them, so another day, they would have won that game, I must say. In the space of 4 games, we played all 3 Murcia teams, picking up a win, a draw, and a win, as you can see here. Fantastic stuff. Another draw with Atletico Salaqueño in the middle of all of those. We then drew 0-0 with Antequera, which I'm probably saying all wrong. And then to wrap things off from in between episodes, we managed to get a 1-0 win. Michael Cipollina scoring the only goal of that game against El Ejido in the League 2. So for the most part, it's been pretty decent. A couple of losses, a couple of draws, a few wins in there. For the most part, wins actually, I must say. So if we look at the competition, we're actually sitting pretty at the top of the table. It is ridiculously close though. No one can actually... I thought we were second. Obviously we were not second because we're top of the table. I'm not entirely sure how because we are behind on goal difference and I'm sure that we've lost both games to Merida this season. So I can't quite work out why we're top of the table. But as I'm saying, it is ridiculously close right now with literally Almeria only 6 points behind us. They're in 6th place right now. There's not long to go at all. Only 1 automatic place, 2 places for the playoffs as well. So we've got to be on our very best form for the rest of the season if we actually want to be in the top 3. I'll be honest with you, Salaqueño down here in 10th place, they're 10 points away from us. They could still come through and get a playoff place. It's so tight in this division. Season preview, we were predicted to be 7th in the table, but as you can see, the odds are very, very close. And as you can see, the points are very, very close. So everyone's got very even teams. Any one of these teams is capable of promotion, in my opinion. So we've just got lucky right now. We just need to keep a bit of form going for the rest of the season, and we should be okay. Today's first fixture is up against La Jolla, who are 8th in the division right now. So again, another team that is capable of getting themselves into the playoffs with a good run of form. So we've got to make sure we beat them. Basically, every game is a must-win game at the moment. This is the team that we've got lining up for this game. We've got Chino in goal because Anthony Ward is still injured. Joseph Cipollina, Lopez, Dobrievic and Kian Ronan start in that back line. Yaya was suspended for the last fixture. He's back in the team now in that CDM spot alongside Shitty Gel and Scipio. Randy Schneider starts in the attacking midfield. He's been really, really consistently good all season. But youngsters O'Neill Jr. and Raul Jr. all start up front because, of course, we've got that injury to Kike. He's out for a little while. Crosdale's just come back from a short-term injury of his own. But actually, Raul Jr. has been scoring more goals than him. As you can see, 5 goals compared to the 4 goals of Crosdale. O'Neill's got 1 as well. So they're scoring goals. They're looking good. Let's give them a chance today. So then, kickoff is upon us. We are the home team today, so hopefully the home crowd advantage will do us some favours. Looks to be quite packed out, I must say, as well. We've got quite a small stadium. I think it's, 2,500 or so, but that looks pretty packed out. The main thing for us is just avoiding defeat. I think that's the main thing. If we can just keep getting points on the board, we should be okay, whether that be a win or a draw. As you can see, we have drawn quite a few this season. 7 games drawn, more than quite a lot of teams around us in the division. We've lost more than other teams as well because of all the draws that we've had. So I feel like we maybe are in a slightly higher position than we should be. I think we are outperforming ourselves just a little bit, like the pre-season preview kind of predicted we'd be coming 7th this season. But O'Neill Jr. gets his 2nd goal of the season. It's a great cross in from the ageing Joseph Cipollina. I think he's 34 now, so he is, as much as I love him, and you know, we absolutely adored him in that first season, he's aging, he's getting considerably worse week on week, to the point where I think it might be a bit detrimental to be playing him in the squad a little bit. So his days are numbered, unfortunately, but O'Neill Jr., his days are just starting at the club as he gets the goal to take us into the lead just before half-time. Another highlight for us right now is Chino. He's been a fantastic servant to the club the past 2 seasons. Really, really impressed with him and his performance levels. But he might be called into action right now, and it's hit the post. Chino was lucky there. That did not go in the back of the net, just as I was praising him. But on the counter-attack, Randy Schneider into Raul Jr., who uses his pace and I think tried to chip the keeper despite the keeper not running out. He'll learn. He's only 16 or 17. Kian Ronan on the ball into Yaya. Only a couple minutes before half-time now as Schneider puts a great ball through to Raul Jr., who just puts it wide. He's got really good finishing. I think his finishing is about 12 or 13. So for this level, it's very, very good. But obviously, still can't quite get the ball on target every single time. But it doesn't matter. Even if we only win 1-0, we're still doing our bit. And as it stands right now, Merida aren't playing, but Tenerife are. We'd be 4 points clear of them. Jaén haven't played yet, so we'd be, if they win their game, only 1 point ahead of them. Obviously, if Merida win, we're on 54 points with them, so it's still all on the balance. There's nothing we can really read into the table right now because other teams aren't playing. So we'll have to be a bit careful with that one. Let's not hold our breath and take things for granted too much as Randy Schneider marches forward again. Forward to O'Neill Jr., who disallowed for offside. Now, Raul was definitely offside. Raul was a... They've not shown me a replay. Let's hang on a second. Just watching this back, because Raul was definitely offside, but he did not interfere with play. O'Neill, I don't think was offside. O'Neill he's not offside. Raul is offside, but the pass has been made. O'Neill nowhere near offside. That should not be disallowed in my book. Should not be disallowed. I feel like we're very hard done by there. Very hard done by. I don't really feel that Raul was interfering with play at all. So I'm not happy. I'm not happy with that one at all. Hopefully we don't concede late on here and drop 2 points from this game as they are looking comfortable, La Jolla. They are looking good coming forward, and that's a great ball forward, but Lopez gets the clearance. O'Neill Jr. looking to put the ball through to Randy. Put it through! Why is he not put... Jeez, O'Neill, he scored 2 goals, 1 offside, obviously, but he suddenly thought, you know, he saw his name in lights. He should have put that ball through a lot sooner. Luckily, it's not cost us, and luckily, our 1 shot on target went in the back of the net, and like I say, a lot of the games this season, particularly that 4-3 win we had against Almeria B, for example, we've been ridiculously lucky. There's a big element of luck in the way that we are top of the table, and this just sort of proves it. One shot on target. Our XG is terrible compared to Lorca's nearly 2 XG, and yet we're the ones coming away with 3 points. I won't complain though. I won't complain unless, of course, it happens against us. But you know, we can't complain about luck. Next up, though, is a huge game against Tenerife. They are 3rd in the division, so we need to pick up a win against them. If we do that, we really are one step closer to getting those playoff places at a minimum. So the other games have been played later on in the evening. Almeria B beat Merida. So Merida stayed 3 points behind us. Jaén won their game 4-3 with a 92nd minute goal. That's rather frustrating. It's a 90. Literally, they were 3-2 down. Jaén, they are getting very lucky as well, so they're just 1 point behind us. But Tenerife didn't do it. They drew, didn't they, earlier on the game? They're all the games that sort of matter to us. Okay, as long as we don't lose to Tenerife, we are looking very, very nice. Unfortunately, though, Shitty Gel has picked up an automatic match ban for 5 yellow cards, so we're going to miss him for the big Tenerife game. It's just that point of a season, isn't it, when they're starting to pick up suspensions in crucial games that we need to win, basically. Thinking of crucial games that maybe we need to be winning, the B team. I believe the B team are doing particularly well. If we look at Lincoln Red Imps, they're 3rd in the National League right now. Europa FC have just smashed it and won the division already. Mons Calpe are behind them, but we are currently playing for 3rd place. And this will be the test to see if the B team actually get to play in European football. I don't know if they do or not, but we'll find out. They've got 6 games to go this season, so they could easily drop out of that top 4 position. But if they just keep going, you never know what might happen. And if they get into European football, that would actually be amazing for us. Amazing for us. They're going to postpone this match for international break. Let's postpone that. Because if they get European football, they get a ton of prize money. I assume that goes into the whole club account, where we're currently £200,000 in the red right now. So we could do with European Champions League or Europa League money, I would say. So ideally, the youth intake will come at some point this week before the Tenerife game. After that, we've got international break, so it will definitely come after the Tenerife game in March. Looks like it's not come before this Tenerife game, though. So we'll see the early fixtures kick off and see what results come through and what that might mean for us. But this Tenerife game, in the context of getting the playoffs or even winning the title, this is huge. It doesn't really get much bigger than this at this stage of the season. I don't think anyone playing earlier on this today is a big one for us. There's a big win there for El Ejido as they scored 2 goals in the 94th and 95th minutes. Jaén have played a game at some point, I've just noticed. They're on 29 games played, and they must have drawn it. Let's have a quick look at what they did. I must have missed this, but they drew 2-2. Okay, so if we win against Tenerife, we will be doing very, very well. We'll be if we win against Tenerife, we'll be 7 points clear of them. No one else can catch them up apart from Almeria B, but then they'll be on 50 points as well. So we'll be 7 points clear of 4th, crucially 6 points clear of 3rd, and 3 points clear of 2nd place. We win this game, I'm putting money on us winning the title. Maybe that's a bit much. If we win against Tenerife, I'll put money on us getting the playoffs. Maybe not the title just yet. But by looks of things, Andre Schtigel obviously suspended for this one, so Michael Cipollina will come on the pitch for him to play alongside Scipio. Onino Jr. also is still travelling back from international break, so he can't play this one. So Martel Taylor-Crosdale, on you come instead, and we'll get Onino Jr. off the bench for Hernandez. The rest of the first team lineup can stay the same. Let's submit the team and let's take on Tenerife. So, kickoff is upon us. Tenerife B, we've travelled all the way to Tenerife, you know, across to a lovely island in the somewhere in the ocean as they score 2 minutes into the game. Not ideal. I can't remember if Tenerife is Balearic or Canary. I think it's Canary. It's the ones off the coast of Africa, isn't it, Tenerife, alongside Fuerteventura and Gran Canaria. And there's another one that I'm probably forgetting. Either way, whilst I'm worrying about geography, we have gone 1-0 down to them very early on, which is not ideal, but we have got the quality in the squad to bring this back as Taylor-Crosdale loses possession. He's honestly, in the Gateshead save on stream, which we stream every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday, he is class, but he's just not really taken to life in Spain very, very well. As I say, how's he not scored that? Martel, come on. I know you're a quality striker. You literally scored 44 goals in a season for Gateshead. Why can you not do something similar here? And just, I'm not even asking for 44 goals. I mean, 4 would be nice, let alone 44 at this stage. Raul Jr., though, scores a goal. My phone buzzed at the wrong time then. I just had to... Basically, as I record this, it's my dog's birthday. So messages are coming... I put online, it's my dog's birthday. Look, hang on. Look at this. I need to be careful. Look. Happy... You can't see that very well. I'll screenshot it and put it on screen instead, so you guys can see my dog, basically. But it was a message coming through saying happy birthday to the dog, which was very kind. That takes priority. Dogs take priority over this. But at least Raul scored. We're back on level terms as Crosdale knocks it down to Raul Jr. as he puts the ball forward to Crosdale. Crosdale, can he put one into the middle? No, he can't, because he's absolutely bloody useless. He is so poor. I want him to be class because he is so good in the Gateshead stream save. But he's just terrible in Spain. Goal kick for us then. Chino plays it to Dobrievic, who hoofs one up towards Raul, but he can't quite get his noggin on the end of that. And it's actually coming back for Tenerife, who somehow score that. How's that going in the back of a net? I feel like Chino's made a bit of a mistake here, as he does get to it, but just can't quite stop it. He sort of pushes it into the ground, it bounces under him, and goes in the back of a net. So once again, we are on the back foot right now as it stands, as my phone just buzzed again for more dog messages, I imagine. But I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to watch his highlight instead. Although maybe I shouldn't watch the highlight. Although Chino makes a good save, so it was a good job to actually watch it. See, they're singing to me now.
Happy birthday to you.
Singing to Tess.
Happy birthday, dear Tess, from everyone at Beyond the Woods Festival. Happy birthday to you.
I mean, Joe showing off his beautiful singing voice there as well. Of Beyond the Woods Festival. Google Beyond the Woods Festival. That's a festival that me and my friends put on. So we'd love to have you in 2021, COVID permitting. Wasn't even planned, that. Wasn't even planned, but a nice little plug in there for the festival. You love to see it. As Schneider puts the ball in the middle. Dobrievic. Oh, he gets his noggin on it because he's so bloody tall. Hits it onto the crossbar, though. That was rather frustrating. Dobrevic's had a good season, I must say. Nothing like outstanding, but he's been like consistently solid. He must be. For us to be top of the table, we must have a pretty solid defence, and he's obviously played a big part in that. As Tenerife looking to... These games have gone on for a long time. So many highlights, and that's why it's offside. Disallowed. You love to see it. It's fine. But we are 2-1 down at half-time. I'm going to throw a water bottle, which has demotivated some players, but other players look very motivated by that. So hopefully that'll work itself out nicely. We'll win the game 3-2. We'll go 7 points clear of 4th place. It'll be absolutely beautiful. Unless, of course, Tenerife score... Yeah. I mean, throwing a bottle didn't really work, did it? You hate to see it. Potentially, could our luck be running out? I mean, we shouldn't have won last game, really, should we? So maybe this is just sort of it all balancing out a little bit. But as it stands right now, as you can see, the 7-point gap we wanted to 4th place isn't going to happen, because we're 3-1 down with only 25 minutes or so to go, as Kian Ronan puts a ball into Raul Jr., which nothing happens with. He does win the ball back, though, Kian Ronan. Scipio puts it over the bar. Luckily for him, his finishing's not quite up to scratch yet. 20 minutes to go. Let's make a couple of changes out there. Crossdale is just terrible. Let's get him off the pitch. Scipio on a 6. I'm sorry, mate. You've got to come off the pitch for Diego. And Joseph Cipollina has to stay on the pitch. We've got no left backs on the bench. But Mustafa Yaya can come off for Alex Moreno. How did this keep happening? How? Every time. I mean, maybe we need to make substitutes more often. I just need to make substitutions more often. It's a great goal from Raul Jr., to be fair. He's given us a glimmer of hope that we might actually be able to pull a draw out of this game. Let's go attacking. Let's say demand more from the entire team. 10 minutes to go. Let's go very attacking. Come on. Let's just say shoot on sight, so we just actually get shots fired away and maybe score one of them. Long range. Get that last minute draw. Please. Please. Oh, there's 20 seconds on the clock. If this just goes out for a throw, which it hasn't done, oh, come on, boys. We've seen plenty of other games get goals in the 90... Well, we're not going to do it like that, are we? Not going to do... Well, what were you doing, Debar? Or who is on the wing there? Unless this is... We've only got and done it. Come on. I can't believe I was about to slag him off. Amazing. We've brought it back literally right at the death. I mean, that was the pass. He just like kicked it forward and it was going to no one. It's a poor clearance. Moreno into Raul Jr. Could have got his hat-trick. Didn't go for it. Went for the square ball. Debar, okay. That's more like it. We've wrestled that one back from the death. You love to see it. Outstretched arms. You've done brilliantly to salvage a draw from that game. It puts us on top of the table by a single point. But that point is huge. We are still 4 points clear of Tenerife as well. So we have essentially a loss in that safety net. If we lose a game, we'll still stay in those playoff places. But there's a lot to play for this season now. 5 games to go. 5 games to go. Malaga down in 11th. Granada in 9th. Mancha Real in 18th. And we'll probably lose to them probably now. Jaén in 2nd. That's a huge game. And then Tajar, who are in 17th. So let's keep going forward until we get this youth intake come through, and then we will wrap up today's episode. More Cipollina injuries, obviously. He loves getting an injury, Joseph Cipollina. That might be his 4th of the season now. If we have a look at his history injuries, this season, I believe, 2021. In fact, it's his, if we include, August doesn't quite, it does count this season, doesn't it? August does. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 injuries this season, but still no youth intake. Come on, get that youth intake through. It's also actually probably a good time to look at the table. We're still top. Other teams will play this weekend on the Sunday, so tomorrow. So we will find out how other teams get on. That might give us a bit of an advantage. As you can see, Tenerife playing Almeria, Jaén are playing La Jolla, Linares are playing no one because they've already played yesterday. They drew, didn't they? We saw that come through. All right, what's this about then? Who is going to do what? Please all lose. Please, please, please all lose. That's all I want. I'd love to see that happen, and then we can just win our next game and move ourselves into title. To be fair, it's been decent. Merida did win. They don't go ahead of us, though. Jaén did draw. They drew 1-1. So they go ahead of us on, I don't know what it is, but there are 3 teams on 55 points now. Linares on 53. Tenerife on 52. It's so tight. And the thing is, I do have a habit of bottling things routinely. So you can just imagine we'll be in that top 3 for most of this, second half of the season, and then it will all go away on that final day of the season. We'll lose the last game of the season against that relegation threatened team, and it'll be terrible, won't it? But the new youth intake is here. Amazing. Finally, no 5-star players, but blimey, we've got an awful lot of 4 and 3.5-star players. Let's have a closer look at this one then. Youth candidates. You can see it all behind my head, which is quite nice. Michael Pickering, supposedly the best player coming through. A left winger with 4-star potential, 1.5 stars current ability, crossing and dribbling. Pretty decent for 16 years old. His physicals are not bad. 14 pace is beautiful, I must say. So he might be a bit useful going forward into the future. Liam Duxbury, another striker. Always good to have some strikers, particularly if that striker has got 15 finishing. Fair play, my son. Maybe try and fast-track him into the first team a little bit as well if he's got that finishing. They're the 2 players with 4 stars, and they've got loads with 3.5. So these could be all very, very useful squad players. Jed Nightingale, big fan of that name. A right back, a left back and a right back who is a full back. Wait, he's not. He's an inverted wing back with terrible crossing. I don't think we'll see much of him unless his dribbling and crossing just increases significantly. Gavin McHugh, what a name that is. A centre back who looks pretty decent. Passing could be a little bit better to be a ball playing defender. Josh Thompson is another right back / centre back who looks okay actually. 2-star current ability. We could look to put him in the first team next season, because our current right backs aren't fantastic. So he could be okay if we get his crossing and dribbling up. Stuart Carver, big fan of that name, is a CDM. Well, it says right winger there, but can play CDM too. He could be all right, to be fair. Stuart Carver, Callum Burt as well, a centre mid who's got some nice technicals already and is very good physicals as well. To be fair, I feel like he looks better than 0.5 star of current ability. Feel like they've done him a bit dirty there. Ian Dolan, another striker as well. He's finishing a 14. We've got some very good finishers of the ball in this youth intake, which is great to see. And then the final player with 3.5 stars of potential is a goalkeeper, Chris Saki. Hopefully, we won't have to sack him for being a terrible goalkeeper. So, of course, if you want any of these players renamed after you or just want to rename any of them, they will be available on the Patreon. So head over to there if you want to have any one of these players named after you or whatever. Link down in the description to that below. And now we've got the youth intake out the way. That is going to be the end of today's episode. Next time out, we're going to come back for the crucial final 2 league games of the season against Jayan and Tajar, who, I can just see it now. They're 17th in the table, aren't they? Are they relegated yet? Nearly relegated. I can literally see us losing to them, and that'll knock us out the playoffs or something like that. I can see it happening already. So hopefully it doesn't, but we'll see how it goes. Either way, thank you ever so much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.